Hey everyone, and welcome to the Week 6 review, Week 7 preview. I am the commish, the champion. Love this trophy. Love to kiss it. Just love to carry it around. And let me tell you, it's got me through some tough times. I'm joined by Joel Gibson today. And Odin's son is in that frame there, chewing on his toy. We love Odin. Joel, how are we feeling today?
Oh, we're feeling mighty fine. It's a good day to be on record here with the champ after I just kicked his ass all motherfucking week.
Yeah. Well, let's just get right into it. Joel Gibson wins the matchup this week against a completely beaten down Mr. Modest. He didn't have any of his players. None of them, in fact. And he still kept it relatively close. It was touch and go there, but at the end of the day, especially today, Joel's player advantage killed it. Halliburton was sensational for Joel Gibson this week. And I'd just like to shout out Tyler Hero for the triple-double today. I do appreciate that. It was for no reason, but I do appreciate it. Joel Gibson, congratulations. And I hate to steal your thunder, but I'd like to make a league announcement. Kelsey and I are expecting a mini Modest. This mini Modest is going to be born in June. We think June 20th area. We're very excited, and I think anybody that knows me in general will understand how excited I am to finally be able to be a dad. So with this loss, it does hurt a little bit, but I am looking on the bright side.
Damn. Well, very, very, very happy for you, sir. Know that it's a big deal for you. But the little things, like me just kicking your ass with Tyrese Halliburton, I gotta say, I am very, very pleased with getting him with my first round pick at $28 too, less than $30, and he's been a first round player. He's young. He's got room to get better. Him and Garland as a pairing, my goodness. And we are so close to getting healthy. Because I know you weren't healthy this week, Brandon, but neither was I, motherfucker. And you better look out for when I am healthy.
I'm ready. I'll see you in the playoffs, my friend. We both moved to 3-3. There's currently, and as we go through these records, there is currently a 5-way tie for positions 5 through 9. So basically, the first one out of the playoffs is in this group of 5 as we go through here at 3-3, just based on records right now. It could, of course, change. But you and I are in that middle group. I love it. Normally, either you or I are kind of top and like forcing and controlling things. This year, you and I are in the middle. Both been very injured. We're going to see what happens. Very competitive this year, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Speaking of competitive, Neiman goes down to Adam. No more undefeated teams. Adam gets the win here, moves to 4-2. Neiman to 5-1. CJ, any comments on Neiman and Adam, other than Neiman losing his undefeated bid?
Tough luck with Joel Embiid not being healthy. Neiman historically is always top heavy. And, he just couldn't sustain without Embiid.
Yep. Is this the start of the collapse, or will we see a rebound next week? Neiman's matchup next week's very interesting. We'll get into that. Next matchup is CJ holding on against Doug. Very close matchup again. Doug had a chance at the end. CJ pulls it out. He'll move to 4-2 as well. Doug will move to 2-4. Doug has been very close at these top-tier teams where he's been making it extremely close at the end. He's building towards the future, and quite frankly, I like his long-term prospects, we'll say. Might not quite get there this year, but he can beat any team any given week. I can tell you that right now.
For sure. He kept up with CJ, which is very impressive. You're higher on Doug's team than I am, but he kept up with CJ's team, and I am very high on CJ's team. So, tough loss. Another one that goes in a tie.
Yep. I know Adam's crying in a corner somewhere that another victory goes in a tie. Next matchup is Cody at Steven. Steven wins this matchup against Cody. Not a lot to say here. Steven trying to right the wagon. Cody is just not going to get it done this year. I imagine him to be bottom 4. I don't think that's crazy for me to say at this point.
No. Especially since Jason Tatum went down this week. And for Steven, his rookie Banchero came back, so we will see what happens. But exactly what we were suspecting went down.
Exactly. Steven moves to 3-3. He's one of those 5 we were talking about in the middle that looked like we're going to be tied. Cody, not just look like, we are going to be tied. Cody moves to 1-5. Next matchup is Kyle getting it done at home against Phil. I wasn't 100% sure on this one. I think I picked Phil and you picked Kyle last week. So Kyle getting it done at home. He moves to 4-2. Phil moves to 3-3, right in that mix. Shout out to Phil for just continuing to be competitive. He's active on the Messenger. Shout out to everybody on the Messenger. It's been pretty lively. I've been focused on Cody's football league, for which I'm 10-2. I'm beating Doug this week, and could be the proverbial favorite, as I was last year, and got second place. So I hate to bring in other fantasy, but I apologize to anybody for not being as active on the Messenger. Once Cody's season concludes, I will be right back there. And Joel Gibson can't say a goddamn thing because we rarely hear from him. Next matchup is Matt at Eric. Matt is the only team to win away this week. No, Joel was away as well. I had my sheet wrong here. So Matt and Joel both won away. Matt moves to 3-3, again, right in that mix. Eric did not listen to me last week. He probably didn't watch the video where I challenged him to be competitive. He was not competitive, unfortunately. He moves to 1-5.
Yeah, exactly what we thought was going to go down went down. Cakewalk week for Matt.
Absolutely. Now, as we move into week 7, things are going to start to get very sticky now. We're already into week 7, Joel Gibson. 6 weeks have been passed already, and there are 5 teams at 3-3. This could be the week to decide a lot of seeding. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? Now, I do want to say, shout out to Neiman, who ranks number 1. And then we have 3 teams that rank 2 through 4. So we've got CJ, Adam, and Kyle. I think it's pretty obvious where I would fall here. I have CJ at 2, Adam at 3, and Kyle at 4. Do you have any quorums with where I'm ranking those?
No, not this time.
Okay, and then like I said, those 5 teams, just real quick, myself, Joel Gibson, Matt Hobert, Phil, and Steven. Now, that's not in any particular order, because quite frankly, I have no fucking idea where these 5 teams are going to go. A lot of them are facing injuries. A lot of them are getting healthy. There's a lot of things that are going to go into these 5 teams, especially over the next 2 weeks. And I think those are going to be split out. Gun to my head right now, I think that Joel has the best team at 3-3. I think I have the second best team at 3-3. Matt next, close with Steven, and then Phil. That is just gun to my head right now based on health, based on how the teams are performing. That's where I have us at right now. Now, the bottom four, no one really gives a shit. Doug technically is at 2 and 4. He is on the top of that bottom four, or bottom three, I apologize. And then you have Eric and Cody both at 1 and 5. I think it's fair to eliminate Cody and Doug already, which after week 6 is pretty early. But both of those teams would need some crazy runs. And both of those teams are in the East. One in the East, one in the West. And the top half of both of those divisions are very strong. So I just don't see it happening. Doug, I think, can get some upset wins, but I think he's going to be on the outside looking in as we move towards the playoffs this year, which he is fully aware of. Any comments on any of that I rolled off?
Doug's team is interesting. I know you mentioned he's probably going to be on the outside looking in. He took some chances on some young players this year, so I think it makes sense. But I do think long-term he could be one of the more interesting teams. But I agreed with pretty much everything you said. I think this is going to be the week where a lot of teams separate. And since we have so many teams with tied records, it's hard to differentiate more than what you said. I loved that you put me up at the top. I thought that was fantastic.
Of the 3 and 3, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can't put myself up there with Cade out. I have now Suggs out. There's so many different pieces that if I put myself up there, I'm just being biased. I have to be honest, and I try to do these rankings as best I can. And at least based on where we are now, we still have no idea if Cade's getting surgery. Nobody is saying a damn thing about this. If he gets surgery, he's out. I'm at best a playoff team this year. At best. It's tough. It's tough for me. And an interesting thing about next week, we have all these 3 and 3 teams. There is only one matchup, Joel Gibson, of a 3 and 3 versus a 3 and 3, and it's the champs matchup, Phil at Mr. Modest. Now, Phil, I have been very complimentary of you moving up to this point. We had a trade earlier in the season, a little grab between each other. It was great. I'm going to win this week. I don't like being in this middle. I need to start at least propelling myself forward and hope that Cade comes back. Hero's healthy. I am fairly confident that I can get this one done, especially looking at the total scores. I went toe-to-toe with Joel, even as injured as I was, and Joker is back. That's all I care about. He's holding it down. Rozier's been great. I got McDaniels off the wire. I have no idea what you guys were doing letting me get McDaniels for $1, especially after the Hayward news. Look out. These Hornets going to sting you. I'm picking me.
I am picking you as well. You're going to be a little bit healthier. When does Paul George come back?
He's out for the first 2. The road trip, same as Kawhi. It's that same old shit. I just don't think I need Paul George based on the numbers I was putting up. And like I said, my bottom is getting stronger. And heaven forbid Boggy Bog comes back and just gives me a little 110 value. That's all I want, 110. That's not a lot to ask. But for $1, I will take that shit too. I'll be ready to cycle.
Well, I am going to pick you, but he's got pieces that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
If Anthony Davis has a monster week, there's not a lot you can do about that.
Right.
The good just don't give a fuck about blocks, I don't think.
Yeah, I just don't care. Like, it's fine. I'm sure Mo Bamba will also be on the wire at some point this week. Just a hint to Phil, but it's rough over here. We're just trying to adjust. We're trying to figure out who we are without Cade. We're just trying to maneuver around. Hope Paul George comes back around playoff time. Just trying to get some wins. We're trying to make it in the playoffs. I'm picking myself.
I'm picking you as well, my friend.
Excellent. Next one, we've got Neiman, number 1, versus Kyle, number 4. This is extremely interesting. Only in the fact that Kyle's been stringing together some wins that you wouldn't expect him to get. Has made some trades that everybody's kind of giving him shit for, but he's also stringing together wins. Neiman, a lot of it's going to come down to Embiid. I still think that Neiman's going to win this matchup, but if Kyle wins it, he might be number 1 next week, which is nutso. Absolutely nutso. Although if CJ wins, I believe CJ has the tiebreaker versus Kyle, so you could make the argument. But Kyle will again rise to the top of the league. And I swear we've seen this story before, Joel Gibson, where we had Neiman and Kyle and everybody up top battling. And then all of a sudden, bang, everything blows up.
Yeah. With Kyle's team, he does have Karl Anthony Towns and Westbrook and who was the other guy I was looking at? And Simmons. And they're all just, they could have enormous weeks and carry him. I'm going to pick Kyle just because I want to see things blow up and I'm unsure about Embiid.
It's really interesting, Joel. You've now picked Kyle 2 weeks in a row. I think we need to emphasize that. I can't remember the last time Joel Gibson has picked Kyle 2 weeks in a row. So I just want it on record that Joel is supporting Kyle. This is absolutely unreal.
I hate it.
Next matchup is Joel at CJ. Now this is really a good matchup. A lot of good matchups this week. We still have another one that's going to be really good. Joel at CJ. Is Joel going to get Middleton back this week? That's the key for me. Kawhi's probably going to be out, but Harden is out for CJ. Doug put up points against CJ. CJ's still the home team here against Joel. I don't know if Halliburton can get that TD. I'm going to side CJ here, but I think Joel has a chance to win. He's getting healthy. Look out.
Yeah, if I can be healthy and have Siakam and Middleton, then it's going to be a real fucking battle. They've just been teasing me now for a few weeks. We're so close. I'm going to pick myself just because I'm feeling optimistic. But I recognize this would be a different game if Harden was out there.
Absolutely. It's a toss-up. I know CJ's going to be on the wire. It's also going to force Joel. This is one of those matchups that we get into that we talk about Joel having to spend that little free agent money he has left. If he's going to do it, we're going to see. Because this is big $7. You know CJ's dropping all 7 of them on the wire. I'm going to be very interested to see if Joel does in this kind of a matchup.
We will see. I will reveal nothing.
Excellent. Next matchup is, like I said, a really good matchup. Matt at Adam. Now, Adam is ranked number 3 in my power rankings versus Matt, who is another one of those teams that are 3-3. Ingram went out, or is out. That's a problem for Matt. Adam is looking good right now. He just beat Neiman. He's at home. I'm picking Adam here, and Matt could be looking up next week.
That's interesting. Looking at Adam's team. Oh. I'm picking Adam.
Yeah, I know. I looked at Adam's team too, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Adam here."
Yeah, I'm picking Adam, and I love it. I love picking against Matt. I had too many picks that historically were not Joel picks in this.
Yeah, exactly. Picking against Matt is a typical Joel pick for sure. Now, another matchup that's a little lower on the list but has big implications, Doug at Steven. The reason why I say this is I said earlier, Doug can beat any team any given week. If Steven takes this loss to Doug, that could be huge moving forward for the playoffs for Steven specifically. I'm going to take Steven at home, but I am worried about Doug. And if I was Steven, I'd be worried about Doug as well.
I'm going to pick Steven as well. But like you said, Doug has been in several close matchups. It feels like he's due for one to go his way. But I'm picking Steven.
Absolutely. And then we have the Toilet Bowl, Cody at Eric. One of these teams have to win. Clearly, they're both better at fantasy football than they are fantasy basketball. Cody, at least looking at his team, has a direction. Eric, I still have no idea what his plan is. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to pick Cody to win on a pride situation here. Now, that being said, it's interesting that Cody tried to lower his pick. Eric tried to lower his pick. What are we going to see in these two teams? Because in Dynasty, this is a little bit different. If we were talking about this game last year, it really wouldn't matter at this point who was doing what. But at the end of the day, you want to get the lowest seed. You want to be able to go from the bottom and face in that consolation bracket for the first. And if you lose that matchup, you still want to have the lowest standing that you can to get the best pick possible. So I'm going to pick Cody. I'm going to pick Cody to win just really based on pride, just like I said.
I'm pick Cody as well.
Go Cody. Eric, get your shit together. This is the second video that I'm telling you to get your shit together. I also want to say, Eric, I really hope that I play you in Cody's league in the playoffs and I get to be the one to knock you out. It'll be great because then all my shit talking in this league will also be applicable. It'll be great. That being said, that's all the matchups for Week 7. We can only hope that I get healthy. We can only hope that, I don't know, that Eric gets his shit together. Joel, we do not want you to get healthy. Congratulations on your win this week, Joel. I didn't mean to overshadow you with my big announcement, but it did feel a little good to be like, oh, I lost, but also I won. I won at life. Right, exactly. Anything else? Anything else from you, Joel Gibson?
Dude, you can pop out as many kids as you want. I'm just going to keep popping you in the face and basketball games.
Hey, just remember, it's not me popping the kids out, okay? So, my job was done a few months ago, okay? I have a little reprieve before I have to start doing anything else. But I do want to say, like, thanks to everybody. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, I do want to reiterate, and it's been 2 weeks since I mentioned this, and then I'll wrap up. The new scoring system's insane. I love it. I think I nailed the categories for the new scoring system. It does open a bunch of different dynamics, and I think each week we've seen a different category be up in these close category or these close matchups. So I just want to say I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited about the future and this kind of a scoring system. Yeah, that's really it. I don't have anything else. Joel Gibson. Oh, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Sorry that Odin's been a pest this whole video. And yeah, I think it's been great as well.
Excellent. We'll see you guys next week.
Next week.